Hey everyone, welcome to my unplanned video. So this girl in her Adidas jacket is about to tell you how she decided to quit the job, a pretty stable job, and move to another company basically for the job that is paying her almost 4 times less than she was paid before at her previous job. So this story is going to be about me, of course, as you pretty much guessed, but I'm not going to go into details like how this downshifting happened and stuff like that. I'm just going to break down a couple of lessons that I've learned in the process, in this journey of downshifting, and why the hell did I decide to quit my stable, aka stable job, and move to a different company. So I was working for that stable job for almost 4 years. It's been like 3 years and 7 months that I've been working there. But around 2 years and 6 months, I started feeling kind of uncomfortable, uneasy, I would say so. And throughout my last year at this company, I started actually discovering the reasons why I should leave, I should go. You know, when you're working in some company for more than a year, you feel pretty good. You feel pretty safe. You don't want to leave this comfort zone. You feel pretty horrified of the fact that you have to actually start looking for new jobs again. Sorry, my computer screen, I'm just keeping it for the beautiful lighting. So I just turned on the white Google search, so that it gives me like really white glowy light, so excuse me for that. So you feel pretty comfortable and you feel quite scared even thinking about the possibility of searching for a new job, of kind of, you know, racing for that opportunities, for that vacancies, and applying the resumes, writing the cover letter. So it's pretty terrifying to think of it even. And that was me. I was pretty comfortable in my bubble, but at the same time, the reasons were stacking up why I should leave and why I don't like this job anymore and why it's keeping me away of something greater. I was receiving a nice amount of money. I loved the things that I was doing at my job to some point, to some extent. And I was also pretty happy with my salary. I could afford pretty much all my needings and like likings and stuff like that. But at the same time, last year, I just felt that I was not growing at all. So while I was receiving quite a nice amount of money, it was never enough, you know. I was always trying to work out my expenses, but when you receive a comfortable amount of money, you don't really think about budgeting, and budgeting kind of seems ugly to you because you're like, I'm receiving so much money, like so much. I mean, a fair amount of money that you should receive, because I felt that I was receiving a fair amount of money for the job I was doing. But at the same time, you're just like, if I'm doing so well and so good, like, why do I have to budget even? Like, this is not for me. Like, I'm not cheap that way, you know. So one thing I learned quitting this kind of high-paid job and downshifting into a low-paid job is that budgeting is a thing, and it does not mean that you are cheap or you're not receiving enough money. You know, when you know exactly how you manage this money, you can get the most out of it. If it's like $100 or 10,000 a month. So that just depends on money management skills that you have or you don't have. And when I was like getting paid really well, I can honestly say I had no idea of money management, like never thought of it, never wanted to actually discover anything like that. So second thing that I learned is that when you paid fair amount of money, but it's kind of a lot in your eyes and maybe in the eyes of your boss or like CEO or your manager, you are really getting used for that money. So what I mean is that when your company don't believe they pay you fair amount of money, and when they think they're paying like a lot for your job, they're going to make you do almost everything. That is including stuff that is not actually under your control or under your management, or stuff that you sign up for, or responsibilities that were initially in your position. So it's everything out of your position, it's everything out of the list that you've signed up for. And like, they feel like if they pay so much, as they think so much, they have to get the most of it. And by saying it, I mean an actual person. But for them, you're just like a sorcery, like an instrument that they have to use to the fullest, so that they're actually getting the value of the money that they paid you to offer. So in the bigger companies, or in the small to medium startups, when they kind of have staff shortage, they tend to use you a lot and tend to be kind of unsatisfied of the fact that they pay you so much, but you do so like less. So being unvalued, is there a word like that? Anyways, being taken for granted is the thing that I learned in the company that was paying me a lot more than I get paid right now. So you should always distinguish, like you should always feel the fact if your company values you enough and actually thinks that you're getting paid fairly or even below the fair amount, and the company that thinks they're paying like too much for your job. The third thing that I learned giving up a really high paid job that was making me feel uncomfortable the last year I was working there is that no matter how much I get paid, if I feel like a piece of shit, I am going to be a piece of shit my whole entire life, being paid really good amount, but representing a piece of shit because I feel like a piece of shit. I feel unworthy. I feel uncomfortable. I feel emotionally stuck in the comfortable bubble, but that actually makes me feel pretty rough. So the bubble is comfortable because I know everything around every single corner, but it's also kind of an abusing bubble because I'm being a victim of this comfortableness that basically doesn't let me go away. So if you choose the uncomfortable state just because it's a stable thing and it's been ongoing for a while now, and you have to throw yourself at something even more uncomfortable of searching a new job, entering for like applying for new positions, entering a new company, getting along with new people, this is the least uncomfortable thing that you can encounter while working. The worst is that the environment is kind of familiar, but this familiar environment is toxic, and it makes you feel pretty uncomfortable and like unworthy of anything, basically. And when you feel crappy, when you feel horrible, mentally you're not going to enjoy this like amount of money you receive each month, just because the rest of the times, like 5 days a week, you're going to feel like an absolute crap because your colleagues or your managers are behaving badly towards you, and that makes you feel bad too. So the point is that you're earning a lot of money but not actually enjoying earning them and spending them, because like I guarantee you that at least 5 days a week, someone is working like 6 days a week or something like that, so at least 5 days a week you're going to feel sick of everything and not can enjoy your life to the fullest. So you choose, basically. And the last lesson that I've learned is that even if you feel or think that you are working at a stable job, receiving pretty well and fair amount of money, don't stop looking for a job. Don't stop scrolling through the new positions, new companies. Don't stop applying for better things, bigger things, and don't stop dreaming for the higher positions, because growing means evolving. And when you evolve, when you grow, you feel great. You feel valued more than ever. You feel that you're reaching something. You feel that you are kind of climbing that ladder. You feel like you are getting like higher, and that you are actually achieving something. Because it's just like in a computer game, when you are unlocking this new level, you feel pretty proud of yourself. You're just like, God damn it, like I did it, and that's perfect. And I can move forward and go higher and reach better things and enjoy more things that I used to have no resources to enjoy. So what I'm trying to say is that push yourself, let yourself go out of the limits, start thinking of the things that are pretty unachievable at this given moment. But when you push harder and do more and stay consistent, there's nothing you can do. Like everything's possible, every single thing. If you think that this is the most, like the highest paid job that you landed on, don't trick yourself like that. Don't let your brain trick yourself like that. You always deserve better, bigger, and basically you always deserve to value yourself. Don't take yourself for granted, because if you do, other people will surely do the same thing to you. So, outside noises. The biggest lesson that I'm learning here, going through this journey of downshifting, is that I might struggle with money right now. I might just starting to learn how to manage my money and how to actually generally manage my income, how to prioritize my budget, and etc. I might just start to figure out what I actually want to do in this life. I might just figure out the actual value of my work and of me as a professional. But it's like never too late. And I'm so happy I didn't waste my time working for this perfectly stable job, getting that perfectly balanced amount of money, thinking I'm getting paid fairly, but at the same time receiving so much hate, toxicity, and so much negativity, basically. I encourage you to do what's best for you, both mentally and physically, and please never trick yourself with the money, wealth, and stuff like that. That's cool. That is everything most of the people want. Be financially stable. But please don't forget that if you're not stable mentally, you're going to spend a lot of finances actually getting back that health that you lost earning that money. So balance everything, your job, your health, your mental state, and stay safe.